that the President was providing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is of note that I want to bring to the attention, Mr. Speaker, a few salient features of the speech of His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, one is on the issue of water. I know more than 23 million Kenyans across a number of counties, Mr. Speaker, are facing drought and famine, Mr. Speaker. I agree that the provision of water should be a priority. Even in my own county, Mr. Speaker, where there was a dam called Keben Dam that was stalled because of issues of politics, Arora and Kimwarer, Mr. Speaker. And now Sondi Miriu project that we are sharing with my brother, Professor Tom Ojenda, who happens to have been my law lecturer, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have Tuake Dam, we have Mwache, and many other dams, Karamenu Dam, Mr. Speaker. I want to assure my brothers and sisters in the minority side through Mr. Speaker, that provision of water will create irrigation, and therefore farmers will be able to irrigate in Kitui, Mr. Speaker, where my sister comes from, the Honorable Senator, Mr. Speaker, where my brother, the Bishop, Senator, Deputy Minority Leader, and I want to congratulate him, and I know he will increase the prayers in Senate Business Committee, Mr. Speaker, so that we can always be doing very well. Mr. Speaker, provision of water is very important. It is a constitutional right, Mr. Speaker, access to clean water. So I want to thank the President for saying all projects, including water and dam projects that are closed, it is to call, Mr. Speaker, the National Irrigation Board, the Ministry of Water, county governments to prioritize, Mr. Speaker, on how to supplement. Because government can do major dams, we want to see boreholes, provision of waters, access to waters, Mr. Speaker, and I think that is what is important, Mr. Speaker. And many other projects, Mr. Speaker. You remember, Mr. Speaker, most of the projects, especially from areas that were perceived to support President William Ruto, most of the projects were stopped. Where I come from, 5 tarmac roads that were built to bitumen standard, Mr. Speaker, like from Moi University, Cheptire to Moi University to Lesos, Lesos to Imaki, Mr. Speaker, from there in Kisumu, all the way to Boita, somewhere in the highway of Timborwa. We had one, Mr. Speaker, from Kaiboi Trading Center, all the way to Chepterwai, all the way to Kakamega County. Most of those projects were only stalled because the only offense, Mr. Speaker, being supporters of William Ruto. But I'm happy God has given him the grace. And I know there are many projects that were stopped because they were just supporting William Ruto. But I want to confirm to the nation, William Ruto will ensure equity and equitable share of development across the country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the second point is on open governance. Being one of the champions of OGP, where we were led under the stewardship of the then Deputy President and the current President of the Republic of Kenya, the President has committed to open an accountable and transparent government. I want to ask the minority side, let us criticize the government in a credible, substantive, and in a malicious way. And I agree with the Senate Minority Leader, who is my learned senior and retired judge, your Senator, Senator Stewart Matsayo, when he said, we will give credit where it's due and criticize what is necessary, Mr. Speaker. And I agree, even allow me to borrow sentiments of my good brother, Senator Edwin Sifuna, when he says he does not wish the government to fail because the country will fail. I want to ask my brothers in the minority side, let us support government where it is necessary to for the benefit of Kenyans, and I can assure you the cornerstone of this government of William Ruto